Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
A huge manhunt is underway tonight in the state of Maine. Police are searching for the suspect in a horrific mass shooting. 18 people are dead, 13 more wounded. This happened last night in Maine's second largest city.
The shooter terrorizing a bowling alley and then a bar and grill. Let's get to NBC's Chris Pallone in Lewiston, where everyone is still waiting for word that it's safe to go out again. Chris.
Tonight, this city of about 40,000 people is a ghost town. People are staying home here and in several other Maine communities at the urging of state and local officials as police hunt for a mass murderer. In the communities around Lewiston, Maine, streets are empty, businesses and schools closed, people are staying home, some locking their doors for the first time in a long time as police try to close in on a killer.
Based on our investigation, we believe this is someone that should not be approached. This is someone that should be, if you come into any contact with this individual or someone that you think looks like this individual, you were to call 911.
An arrest warrant has been issued for 40-year-old Robert Card. Investigators believe he's the gunman seen here holding an assault-style rifle. The shooter first opened fire around 7 in a Lewiston bowling alley, then drove to a nearby restaurant and bar and killed more people there.
Multiple victims for an active shooter in the town of Lewiston.
Leroy Walker confirmed to Lester Holt his son Joey was a manager at Shemengi's Bar and Grill and died in the massacre.
He went into telling her that he died as a hero because he picked up a butcher knife from somewhere. You know, he has all that stuff near the bar anyways. And he tried to go at the gunman to stop him from shooting anybody else. The gunman shot him twice through the stomach.
Police found Card's abandoned car about 8 miles from the shootings. A police bulletin said Card was trained as a firearms instructor and believed to be in the Army Reserve. That release also said he recently reported mental health issues, including hearing voices, and had threatened to shoot up a National Guard base in Maine.
This city did not deserve this terrible assault on its citizens, on its peace of mind, on its sense of security.
Now, as the search for the suspect continues, so many questions remain. Why? How? And is any place truly safe? Two police sources tell NBC News that Card apparently bought the weapon used in this massacre legally earlier this year. Tonight, President Biden has ordered flags across the country to be flown at half-staff to honor the victims. In Lewiston, Maine, Chris Pallone, Local 4.
All right, Chris, head here at 6 o'clock. Staying safe in public places. Our crime and safety expert, Darnell Blackburn, will be with us to share 4 things you and your family can do in a crisis situation like the one in Maine.
A judge has put new protections on text messages in a case involving former MSU football coach Mel Tucker and Brenda Tracy, whose accusations of sexual harassment led MSU to fire Tucker. Tracy appeared in a courtroom in Ingham County for today's hearing. She recently filed suit regarding a series of text messages between herself and a longtime friend of hers, which Tucker's attorneys made public, citing them as newly discovered evidence of the nature of the relationship between Tucker and Tracy. Judge Rosemary Aquilina deciding today those text messages must not be disseminated further because it could taint a jury pool. Tucker's team has agreed not to release information from the phone pertaining to personal health data, the personal information of sexual abuse survivors, or protected trade secrets. A trial is set for March.
Now that the UAW Ford has its tentative agreement, the attention shifts to General Motors and Stellantis. We're told active negotiations have continued with both companies today. There is, though, of course, still the matter of ratification at Ford, getting the plants back up and running. That doesn't happen overnight. For that, let's turn to our business editor, Rob Maloney, who's live in Pontiac. Rod.
Yeah, Devin, you know, here in Pontiac, they went through this 4 years ago, 40 days on the picket line. They understand how all of this works. So for them, it's good news that Ford has the tentative agreement. They'd like to think it means something to them, but they're not getting too excited. Let's hear from them. GM UAW Local 653's picket line here in Pontiac has been up for 5 weeks now. So when you ask their reaction to the Ford TA...
Well, hopefully they'll get a good one and then get back to work. Yeah.
Do you think that means something for you guys here?
Hopefully, yeah.
At the Stellantis Warren Parts Center, 29-year Local 1248 veteran John Wyon of Redford thinks it
Sounds good. Hope we get similar or the same or better.
Still, the picketers know it's going to be a while before everyone gets back to work. The union bringing in its UAW National Council to Solidarity House on Sunday to vote whether to send the agreement to the rank and file. It's likely a formality. Sunday night, UAW President Shawn Fain will do a Facebook Live explaining the contract's details to them. By next Tuesday, the union will hold regional meetings to discuss the contract with its union officers, who will then hold local meetings where members can ask questions, all leading up to about a 2-week-long ratification vote process. Still, all of this comes at a hefty cost to Ford, says Wayne State University business professor Dr. Marek Masters.
Well, the back of the envelope costing that I did is about $1.3 billion a year. It will cost Ford, and that doesn't include any of the lump sum payments or profit sharing that goes along with it.
Knowing there's a sizable raise coming their way, picketers here are saying,
I'm ready to get back to work, yes. Yep.
You want to wrap this up soon?
I want to wrap it up soon so we can all get back to work making money again.
Now, when an auto plant sits idle for 5 weeks, a plant that's been going 3 shifts a day, you can't just flip the switch and turn it back on. Ford telling us this afternoon that their suppliers need to get ramped up, get some parts into the supply chain and then to the plants. And then a 3-shift plant can't just go 3 shifts automatically. It takes time to build up for that. Ford telling us it could take upwards of a month for them to get back to full capacity. Back to you.
Month on strike and then maybe a month to get it back up and running fully. All right, Rod.
Well, we first told you last week about a Farmington High School basketball coach fired amid accusations of sexual misconduct involving students. Well, today that coach went before a judge to face charges. Victor Williams live with the new developments in what is a very disturbing case. Victor.
Yeah, Kimberly, so disturbing that 3 other coaches were fired for allegedly knowing what took place and not reporting it to school officials. But the man that you're about to see is the only one that's facing charges.
What's your name, sir?
Jeremy Tompkins.
Charges are finally in for former Farmington High School basketball coach Jeremy Tompkins in connection to the alleged sexual assault of 2 student athletes at his home in Detroit. The 43-year-old is now being charged with 2nd and 4th degree criminal sexual conduct. He pleaded not guilty before the judge in the arraignment hearing Thursday.
He's a lifelong resident of the metropolitan Detroit area. He has no prior criminal history.
He was given a bond in the amount of $250,000. The alleged victims in the case are only 15 and 16, and if he's able to bond out, from now on he's not supposed to have any contact with either student athlete or be around minors altogether.
No school-related events. No contact, or you're not to go to the Farmington High School. No contact with minor children.
Prosecutor Kim Worthy sending a statement on the severity of the case saying, quote, "We want to be able to trust the people that we allow to coach, teach, and spend time with our children. Sometimes they are predators that betray and abuse that trust in unimaginable ways. The evidence in this case will show that this defendant's alleged conduct violated his position of authority and harmed those he was supposed to guide and protect." And we're also finding out that Tompkins was a retired firefighter. On top of that, he's due back in court on November the 2nd. Victor Williams, Local 4.
Okay, Victor, keep us posted. We appreciate it.
Help Me Hank continuing to expose enormous ambulance bills that are taking many who have insurance by big surprise. But there is a secret way to reduce or even eliminate your big bill. Consumer investigator Hank Winchester live at Henry Ford in Detroit. I don't even love saying that it's a secret. That seems problematic too. Hank, tell us about it.
And Devin, I have to tell you, honest to God, I'm absolutely baffled right now, and you're going to find out why in just a moment. It involves yet another bill from Superior Ambulance. Right now, let me get you up to speed on the story we're talking about today. Jeff, an attorney who found himself in this situation. Now, he says the care he got here at Henry Ford, top notch. But when he got that bill for the ambulance ride, well, he just couldn't believe it. Jeff Bustle's Superior Ambulance story starts here at Henry Ford West Bloomfield. He needed heart surgery. He was transferred via ambulance at Henry Ford on West Grand Boulevard. The bill for that ride, around $9,000.
Do you think it's just a case of good old-fashioned price gouging?
Yeah, of course it is.
Faced with this huge, unexpected bill,
Jeff decided to contact Superior Ambulance directly.
I ultimately decided to negotiate it myself, and I was able to negotiate it, but it was still about $3,500 out of my pocket.
And that's exactly what you should do too.
See what they can afford, go on a payment plan, and see if you can reduce the balance.
So contact the ambulance company directly?
Certainly.
Just yesterday, I met Betsy. Her 11-mile non-emergency ambulance ride cost her around $7 grand.
Notified me today that she would get to the bottom of this and try to figure out exactly what the breakdown of this is and what she can do. And she guaranteed me, she assured me that the bill would not be $6,500. She's not sure what is going to be the cost, but not $6,500.
Help Me Hank got involved. Superior Ambulance and Beaumont both contacted, and today we learned Betsy's bill dramatically reduced. Back out here live, I want to play part of the voicemail Betsy just received.
This is Kira from Superior Ambulance. I just wanted to let you know that we did receive approval to write off the balance of your wife's ambulance bill, so I can go ahead and send
So I'm not sure if you were able to hear that clearly, but Superior just calling saying that we received approval to write off the complete balance, which again was around $7,000 down to zero. This has happened twice this week after we got involved. Clearly, something isn't right here. It is not adding up. Again, people shouldn't have to call the media, and we shouldn't have to call Superior to get a bill from $7 grand to zero. We're going to stay on top of this, figure out exactly what's going on. But if you have a bill from Superior, if you were transferred from one hospital to another, I definitely want to hear from you. We're live here tonight on West Grand Boulevard at Henry Ford. Hank Winchester, help me, Hank. Back to you.
And what you worry about, Hank, is if people hear how expensive an ambulance ride is, then they decide, I'm not calling it ambulance, I'll get myself there, and that could be life-threatening for some people, depending on what they're dealing with.
Yeah, Devin, and I mean, we're certainly not advocating for people to do that. I mean, especially if they are in medical need of transport.
Right.
But what we're trying to figure out is why these bills are thousands of dollars and why Superior takes the bill from $7 grand to zero overnight. It doesn't make any sense.
Sure
so
doesn't.
we need some answers, and we're going to stay on top of it.
You got it. All right, Hank.
And it's probably people who've already tried to pay. You know, they've maybe been paying.
Exactly.
And,
you got to know these secret handshakes that you need. All right, well, we had another mild day, but cloudy again.
Cloudy, that's right. Let's check in with Kim, see how it's going out there.
Well, it's definitely cloudy, and there is some rain out to our west, but it's dry and it's mild right now. 71 in Detroit, also in Ann Arbor, upper 60s in Lapeer, and 72 in Monroe. We've got 60s to the north and 70s to the south. It's 73 at City Airport, with the exception of Grosse Ile, who's dropped down to 64. Low 70s at Metro and 70 degrees in Howell. It is 10 degrees warmer right now than it was yesterday in the northern part of our viewing area, including Pontiac and Howell, Flint and Lapeer, and then a little cooler than that to the south. There is some rain out there. Most of it is up to the north of us, but we'll watch a few showers that will roll in later on tonight. Will not affect your evening plans. Tomorrow we could start with a sprinkle, but look how nice it is in the afternoon. We'll get a little sunshine through the midday hour. Temperatures top out in the mid 70s, but big, huge, giant changes ahead for next week that we need to talk about coming up.
Yeah. All right, Kim.